So, what's better in business? I've been asked many times. I actually recently wrote a few articles about it for business magazines. The masculine way or the feminine way? Now, let's go back. What is masculine? What is feminine? I like to look at the masculine, the things that naturally men are good at, are born to be. And I'm not saying all men are like that, but from nature, that's the characteristics they usually have. So they like to compete, they have focus, they like to think in systems. And a business is a system if you manage it well. See more or better opportunities. They are not afraid to take risks. They're goal oriented. Keep a good overview of the whole process. Love the speed of implementation. Dare to promote themselves if this helps the business. They say yes before they even know how to do it, and they really like to negotiate. Now, what is the feminine? How usually women are naturally born. Creativity, working together, have faith and trust, thorough preparation, precise, intuition, the inner knowing, inspired action, and following the flow easily, course correcting when necessary. And that's what I call the feminine. And it's not necessarily true that a businesswoman is very feminine. There are a lot of masculine businesswomen. And there are also businessmen who have feminine characteristics. I do have to conclude, though, that still more the masculine characteristics seem to be more successful. At least if you look at the definition of success, when a business is related to how fast it grows, how big it is, and how much money goes around. If that's the definition of success, you could say, look at the men. But hey, there's still a lot more men in business out there. In my country, for example, I live in the Netherlands, in Europe. At the moment, 30% of the businesses every year that are registered at the Chamber of Commerce are female owned. So it's changing. Now, how about women and their businesses? Because there is a change between how men manage their business and how women manage their business, and how the businesses are behaving. The businesses of women hardly ever go bankrupt because they are more risk avoiding. It is something men don't like, but listen, the businesses of women hardly ever go bankrupt, and recently a study showed that although not many investors, who are most of the time men, like to invest in businesses owned by a woman, this study showed that if they invest €1, they will get in return €2. So it's a very secure investment. The businesses of a woman always delivers. A woman will not say yes if she's not convinced that she can deliver. She will freak out, she gets stressed, so she has to know she can deliver, at least for 80%. Most staff like to work a lot for female-owned businesses. And often women don't need to have all the facts. They can trust their gut feeling. It's something many men freak out about. I teach and coach many businesses owned by men and women, and they argue about this. The woman says, I just know. And he says, but how do you know? Where's your facts? Where's your figures? Where's your study? And she says, I don't know. I don't have it, but I know. Trust me. And usually she's right. Women are very creative. for them also the relationship is more important than the money. So women usually are not very much money oriented. Well, you could say that's positive, but in a business, I think sometimes that's also a lack. Women really should be more money oriented because with that money, they can achieve what they want with their business. And that's usually one of the problems by businesses owned by women. They remain too small. Women are very thorough, the businesses also, and they can easily find consensus. They're not convinced that their opinion is the best. And usually their service and product is of a very high quality because she will not launch until she's completely sure that it's perfect. She delays. And this is also not always an advantage. It's good for the clients when the service is perfect. But because of a woman delays the launch often so long, she loses momentum. And whereas businesses owned by men, they do this. But it's sometimes difficult for me to convince a woman that she has to start, even if it's not perfect, because that's just not the program most women have. So what's better for success, masculine or feminine? I believe we all should have a combination. There are a lot of masculine businesswomen out there. They're very successful. I used to be one of them. And in the end, I didn't like it anymore. I really, what I recognize in these women, and I know because I've been there, so I hope you don't feel offended, but they usually didn't like to network with women. They really like working with the men because they understand each other. But for the men in business, this is weird because when a woman is behaving masculine, they're not programmed that way. So they usually would say she's a bitch, or something else nasty. So but why are most of these successful women have adopted all this masculine? Because that's just the way business is done at the moment. I'm not saying that's all right. We don't know any better, ladies, because we get influenced by books, by trainings, by speakers, by trainers who teach us how to do business like it's always been done. And guess how it's always been done? The masculine way. So doing business is changing. It's changing because there's more women. It's changing because women want to do it a different way. So again, I ask, what's better? I believe having masculine and feminine is better. It's not natural for a woman to be very, very masculine. It's also not natural for a man to be very feminine. But in business, it will help having both. So I hope you like this little training about the differences between how men and women do business. And my name is Tineke Rense from Powerful Business Academy. Have a beautiful day and bye-bye.